There is an iron law in automotive engineering called the impossible triangle. The points of the triangle are fast, light, and cheap. The rule has always been you can only pick two. If you want fast and light, you get a McLaren F1. It is maybe the greatest car ever made, but it costs $20 million. It is not cheap. If you want light and cheap, you get a Mazda Miata. It is a joy to drive, but let's be honest, a modern minivan will probably smoke you at a stoplight. It is not fast. If you want fast and cheap, you get a Dodge Hellcat. It has 700 horsepower and is attainable, but it weighs as much as a bank vault. It is not light. For 70 years, we accepted this trade-off. We accepted that peak performance was reserved for the billionaires who could afford the lightness. But the 2026 Corvette Zora, aka the ZR1X, is different. It looked at the impossible triangle and it made a very specific, very violent choice. It chose to be the fastest thing on the road. It chose to be cheap enough that a successful plumber could finance it, and it chose to make that happen by sacrificing its lightness. But here's the thing that I don't think was a mistake. I think the Corvette ZR1X is the final boss of the internal combustion engine, and today I'm going to argue that its 4,200 pound curb weight isn't a flaw. It is the cost of building the last great car humans will ever design. Let's talk about the engine. But I'm not going to bore you with the compression ratios or the turbo vane geometry. You guys have the internet. You know the specs. What I want to talk about is the audacity of this powertrain. Most hypercars, like the Ferrari LaFerrari or the Porsche 918, are bespoke. They are clean sheet designs where every bolt is engineered to work together in perfect harmony. They are elegant, they are refined, they are Swiss watches. The ZR1X is none of that. The ZR1X is what happens when you lock a bunch of Detroit hot rodders in a wind tunnel and tell them the world is ending in 12 months. It is Apollo 13 engineering. They didn't design a new system, they rated the parts bin. They took the ZR1, which is already a lunatic machine with a flat plane crank, twin turbocharged V8, and then, just to be insane, they welded it to the E-Ray, the hybrid supercar. It is a Frankenstein monster. You have a high revving race engine screaming at 8,000 RPM in the back, and you have a silent electric motor clawing at the pavement in the front. It shouldn't work. The vibration from the flat plane crank creates havoc for the hybrid sensors. The heat from the turbos creates a thermal nightmare in the engine bay, but they made it work. This isn't just an engine, it is a greatest hits album. It combines the three eras of performance: naturally aspirated response, turbocharged power, and electric torque. It is the most complex, chaotic, and glorious thing ever put into a production car. And it feels human. An AI wouldn't design this. An AI would say it's inefficient. Only a human being would look at 1,064 horsepower and say, you know what? Bolt an electric motor to the front. We need more. Then there is the second miracle, the economics. The ZR1X is going to cost somewhere between $200,000 and $250,000. Now, that is a lot of money, but in the world of physics, it's pocket change. Let's look at the cost per horsepower index. The Bugatti Tourbillon, or however you pronounce it, sorry, I'm always bad with the hypercar names. The Bugatti creates 1,800 horsepower and costs $4.6 million. That is $2,500 per horsepower. The Ferrari SF90 creates 1,000 horsepower and costs almost $1 million. That is $830 per horsepower. The Corvette ZR1X, that is $200 per horsepower. That is class warfare in automotive form. Chevrolet has effectively democratized horsepower. For decades, the gatekeepers in Europe told us that if you wanted to break 200 miles per hour, you needed pedigree, you needed a heritage, you needed to be on the list. But the ZR1X calls their bluff. It proves that the price tag on a Ferrari isn't paying for speed, it's paying for exclusivity. The ZR1X gives you the same violence, the same G-force, the same terror for the price of a used Lamborghini Huracan. It walks into the country club, kicks over the table, and eats the buffet. And I love it for that. Now, we have to address the consequences of the impossible triangle. The ZR1X weighs 4,200 pounds. The internet comments are already trashing it. It's a boat, it's a tank, it weighs more than a Ford Explorer. And yes, objectively, that is heavy, but I want to reframe this. It isn't heavy because the engineers were lazy. It isn't heavy because they used cheap steel. It is heavy because it is dense. Think about what is packed into the chassis. You have the widest tires Michelin makes, the massive heat exchangers required to cool 1,200 horsepower, the battery pack, the electric motors, the titanium intake valves. There is no negative space in this car. If you cut it in half, it would look like solid rock. This is functional mass. If you stripped 1,000 pounds out of this car, you'd have to lose the hybrid system, no torque fill, or lose the cooling, it overheats, or lose the active aero, you fly off the road. The ZR1X decided that capability matters more than the scale. It fights inertia with technology. It uses the weight as a weapon to press the tires into the asphalt. Is it a ballerina? No. But a ballerina can't crack the Earth's crusts with downforce. The ZR1X is a wrecking ball, and sometimes you need a wrecking ball. So here is the reality. We are standing at the edge of a cliff. Look at what's coming next. The future of the car industry is sterile. It is software-defined vehicles. It is AI-generated designs optimized for drag coefficients. It is safe. It is quiet. The Corvette ZR1X is the line in the sand. I truly believe that this is one of the last great cars designed by humans. It has human flaws. It is loud. It is complicated. It is aggressive. It vibrates and it drinks gas. It is a glorious, gluttonous celebration of everything we have learned in 100 years of combustion engineering. It is the grand finale of the machine age. General Motors didn't build a car that makes sense. They built a monument. They emptied the parts bin. They turned up the boost, and they said, here is everything we know. Good luck topping this. And the sad truth, maybe, just maybe, nobody ever will. So, that's my take. This is the peak. But I want to know if you agree. Is the ZR1X the greatest of all time, or is it just a dinosaur staring at a meteor? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.